Never want someone else to feel that way. And I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans, and I would never want someone else to...
What could it be?
Meghan Markle just got roasted on Saturday Night Live. And not with subtle shade. We're talking a brutal takedown, delivered in a punchline so short and sharp it broke the internet. And how did she respond? Not with words, not with reflection, but with a perfectly lit, highly polished Instagram post from Beyoncé's VIP suite. For someone who claimed to be destroyed by media attention, Meghan's timing couldn't have been louder. This wasn't just a misstep. It was a publicity stunt disguised as a comeback. And it blew up in her face. Saturday Night Live has roasted everyone. Politicians, musicians, billionaires. But their jab at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, that hit different. No long setup, no dramatic delivery, just 2 sentences in a skit about US-UK relations. You can keep Meghan and Harry. No, I don't want them. And that was it. The crowd erupted. Social media exploded. Even longtime supporters weren't rushing to defend her. It wasn't just a joke. It was a cultural turning point. Because Saturday Night Live, a legacy show that often plays it safe, just said what millions had been whispering for months. That the Meghan and Harry brand, once a story of rebellion and courage, had now become a performance, and a tired one at that. There was no context needed. No elaboration. The punchline landed because it was truth dressed up as comedy. And, more importantly, it proved something crucial. The public had stopped being curious, and had started getting tired. Meghan didn't wait to clap back. She didn't address the joke. She didn't deny the narrative. Instead, she did what she does best. She controlled the image. Just days after the Saturday Night Live roast, Meghan appeared in full glam at Beyoncé's Renaissance World Tour in Los Angeles. Not in the crowd, not low-key, but front and center in a luxury suite. Beaming, dancing, styled like a magazine cover. Her caption, "Thank you, Beyoncé, for a fun date night." But fans weren't cheering. They were squinting, because it didn't feel like a spontaneous evening. It felt produced. The angles were perfect. The lighting was cinematic. The outfit screamed intentional. Some claimed it was staged. Others said it was desperate. But nearly everyone agreed it didn't feel real. And then came the twist. Multiple sources revealed Meghan and Harry weren't even guests of Beyoncé. They were reportedly invited by Paramount's CEO Brian Robbins, a powerful media exec. Suddenly, this wasn't a night out. It was a strategic placement. And in the context of that Saturday Night Live jab, it looked like an attempted image reset. Rushed, reactive, and totally transparent. What could have been a quiet, joyful night turned into a damage control parade, wrapped in rhinestones and captioned like a Hallmark card. From a PR perspective, Meghan's Beyoncé night should have been a slam dunk, but instead, it left people feeling off. The poses looked rehearsed. The smiles were too timed. The kiss from Harry felt conveniently captured, not lovingly spontaneous. And that's the problem. When you've spent years criticizing the media, condemning paparazzi, and demanding privacy, then turn around and post like a pop star. People notice, and they don't like it. Because it's not just about visibility, it's about credibility. And for Meghan, that credibility is starting to crack. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time Meghan has leaned on the camera to reclaim her story. The Oprah interview, the Netflix doc, the Spotify deal, the carefully timed miscarriage essay, the brand-fueled Mother's Day post, the hummingbird tribute to the Queen. It's all part of a narrative strategy, calculated vulnerability wrapped in poetic language. But this Beyoncé moment, this wasn't poetic. It was awkward, obvious, and in the wake of Saturday Night Live's viral punchline, it looked like exactly what it was. A perfectly curated distraction. Here's the truth. The more Meghan Markle talks about privacy, the more she appears in staged moments. The more she asks for compassion, the more she posts content that feels manufactured. From red carpets to maternity portraits to emotional quotes in perfect font spacing, it's become less about authenticity and more about aesthetic. The public isn't mad that she's famous. They're frustrated that she keeps selling her story like she's not. Saturday Night Live didn't start this. They just gave it a punchline. Because the public was already shifting, already noticing the patterns, already questioning the sincerity. The Beyoncé suite wasn't a flex. It was a red flag. Even loyal fans started side-eyeing the content, the captions, and the inconsistencies. The words relatable and royal don't mix. And Meghan, once the media's most sympathetic figure, now finds herself becoming its favorite punchline. At the beginning, Meghan and Harry's story was powerful, a royal love story, a modern rebellion, a couple who walked away from the palace to find peace. But now it's content. It's choreography. It's overproduced peace and performative privacy. And the more they push to control the story, the more the world pushes back. Because you can only stage so many moments before the audience stops clapping. This is Behind the Light Stick. Subscribe for deeper stories, media meltdowns, and the truth behind the most viral headlines. Like, comment, subscribe, because when the script falls apart, we'll be there for the final act.